Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast with your host, Karev. We are sponsored by HeritageHipHop.com. We are more than music, and we bring you your future favorite artists today. So become members to the website, www.heritagehiphop.com, and get music, insight from the new artists that are going to be your future favorite artists, and also a glance of the inspired and growing hip-hop culture. Go to heritagehiphop.com to not only celebrate the culture, but realize your potential and your importance within it. So we just got finished the Heritage Hip Hop Awards, and I'm tired. I'm going to tell you the truth, but I'm not too tired to meet grand new artists, brand new faces and voices, and also the greatness that comes from creativity. So in this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we interview the Stoners. Yeah, the Stoners. Brothers who make music together, who are looking to be unique and change the world, not only with their sound, but with their perspective. Be sure to stay tuned to this episode, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary when it's finished.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We're not zooming today. Today we're bringing you the voices of the culture. And being that Heritage Hip Hop brings you your future favorite artists today I have two artists that not only share blood, but share integrity and sound. Introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, I go by Stunna, and I go by King Pharoah. And we both go by the Stoners.
It's a pleasure to meet you both. How are you gentlemen today?
Good. Doing good. We're doing good.
All right, so let's get into your backstory a little bit, but then let's bring it to the forefront of the culture. Because unfortunately, when people talk to artists, they don't get their minds, their mindset or their mind's frequency on things that happen in the culture. Just ask them about music. I'm not that type of man. So to understand who you are, where are you from, and where does your sound originate from?
So me and my brother, we're both from Norfolk, Virginia, but I wouldn't say our sound really originates from anywhere. We kind of just combine, a lot of things that we listened to as youngins, like, the R&B and hip hop. We kind of combined them and collided them together. We listen to some people like Tupac and Biggie and all of them, but, we also listen to the real historic people like Michael Jackson and, the greats like top greatest, those are the people that kind of put us together to bring the music we bring today.
I respect that. I think hip-hop today is in an identity crisis. What do you think about that statement?
You said it's in a crisis?
An identity crisis.
Identity crisis, okay. I think today's music, it's just different, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, before people were all about, the lyrics and, like it's about metaphors and what you saying, and now it's just about, the hypeness, you know what I'm saying? They want to turn you up. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it personally. I think it's pretty dope, they're getting on some fire beats and they putting some dope flows together and stuff like that.
Okay. That was Stunna. Pharoah, how do you feel?
I feel the same way. I mean, of course, you probably could hear more of the beat being really, the beat, they take a lot of time on the instrumentals and the flows and the melodies. But I feel like that made room for newer sounds and newer, elements of music for people to go by. Because some of us lyricists, yeah, we cool with the lyrics and everything, but we want to try something new too and try to switch it up from time to time, and that just kind of helped it more,
When I say identity crisis, I don't mean type of music. I mean identity of music. For instance, you have a lot of people who's older, who consider themselves OG, some of them not. They will tell you how to sound because they want you to sound like what they're used to. Then you have people of younger generations telling you, no, I want to sound like this because this is who I am. So unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, because the game isn't as structured as a label, We see the growth of people's identity and music in real time instead of seeing them artists develop. Do you agree?
Most definitely. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
So when I say identity crisis, it's because so many people are telling people who to be instead of letting them be who they are. How dangerous is it for people to tell folks who to be instead of embracing their sound and them when they make their music?
Wow. Yeah, that's big. I mean, music is all about being who you are. It's all about, talking about what you live, and if you ain't got your truth behind everything, it's like you really just, it's like it's not even you. You know what I'm saying? So that's huge. You gotta be who you are. Like when it comes down to this music thing, you gotta be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna relate to you.
And relatability is how you sell your sound or how you tell your story. A great MC, KRS-One, says, when you read a book, if you don't know the author, then you don't know the message of the book. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely.
So when I think of music, I don't only want to listen to the words and the beats. I'm listening for the spirit of the artist as well. Let's talk about spirits right quick. Because who does most of your production?
We do all of our production, engineering, and everything.
All right, that's hot. Because you have a video that's called an emotional hip-hop song in 2 languages. Right?
Yeah.
Now, see, when you listen to music, music has languages within itself, whether it's spoken language, audio language, or spiritual language. Which language do you think attaches to the audience the most? Is it the words, is it the beat, or is it the spirit of the song?
Man, nobody's ever asked that question. That is
Welcome to Heritage Hip Hop.
I would say, since you gave those 3 choices, it's definitely gonna be the spirit that the songs come with, because it can like really reflect you in a negative way or a positive way, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it does.
Pharoah, how about you?
Yeah, I agree. I'll say the spirit, because the spirit kind of gives you the words. You know what I'm saying? Well, it'll give you the words if you're speaking with your spirit, of course. So I would definitely say the spirit.
Okay, so since you're the quiet one, I'm gonna mess with you for a minute. I think people disrespect hip hop or other type of music when they say, "I don't listen to the beats, only listen to the music," because then they turn off the spirit as well, right?
Right.
Do you agree?
Right.
So then you have a song called "Scratches and Bruises," right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Scratches and bruises is more than just somebody going through it with somebody. It's also what they go through with themselves. How does a man's spirit in his music not only tell what's in his soul, but also teaches what's in his soul to the listener?
Well, it's pretty much like you just kind of talk through what you're going through, to be honest, like in your daily life, and how you're feeling, can bring out your feelings kind of bring out the song, pretty much. I could say, at least for us, in the way we make music. So it's like you go through a situation and you get to feeling a certain type of way. We'll get on the track and we'll talk about how we talk about it, and that's pretty much where it will actually come from. So the audience, they should pretty much hear everything of the situation of what you're going through and be able to feel the actual emotions that the person is going through at the same time.
Okay. Let me double back on that and bring it forward with who you are. So your name is
Okay.
King Pharoah.
Right.
So a king is a title and a pharaoh is a god, right?
Right.
So men elect kings, but pharaohs came from the bloodlines of gods.
Mm-hmm.
When you carry a name like King Pharoah, that means the words, if not the principle of the words, not only are messages, but they also are responsible. What are you giving in your song that's responsible to the listener so that when the listener comes back to you, not only are you revered as a lyricist or artist, Also, how they revere you as a person delivering the revolutionary thought that sound can save life.
I would say I give a lot of truth. That's the main thing. I try to be as honest as possible through all my music in any situation, but I also try to reflect on things that, you know, other people might be going through, you know, that might not get spoke on sometimes, you know. Some people, you know, don't want to speak on a certain situation, and sometimes I talk about a real situation just because, you know, I know it's a person out there that might be afraid to say something that they feeling, you know, rather it's, you know, male or female, and I just show from the perspective, but also from the other perspective as well.
Okay, I respect that, because perspective is what makes music living, breathing, and life-giving. Stunna, let me ask you this. When you hear King Pharoah and he's talking that truth rhyme or that truth story, what do you think he pulls out of the listener that the listener isn't even ready for until the song is over?
Man, it's tough for me to know like what the listener might hear, because I've been me and King Pharoah, we so close. I know some of the situations, so when I hear it, it like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I know exactly what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, to me, it's just a different feeling. But I mean, to them, I know there's some people out there that went through that stuff. Like I know they went through that same situation or a similar situation, and I know they feel it. Like it's crazy.
Spiritually speaking, experience is the thing that makes a man, because that's how we learn. Whether we get our hands dirty, or we bump our heads, or we go through trials and tribulations that give us the education needed to learn how to move, whether it's in the classroom, in the boardroom, or in the street. Tell me about On My Own, and why the Lone Wolf tag had to be shown in that video.
On My Own was a song that I made basically because, you know, it was a time in my life where it was like I was, you know, getting myself together, you know what I'm saying? But I struggled on that way of getting myself together, and I saw people's true colors when I couldn't provide stuff for them on my struggle on the way up. But as soon as I got, you know, on my feet, you know, those same people try to come back to me. So, you know, I had to like basically put it out there, you know what I'm saying? Like I got all this stuff, I got where I'm at now in this position on my own with no help, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, I just got tired of, and that's just, I know people go through that too, you know what I'm saying? So it just had to be said. It's something that some people don't know how to say. Some people don't know how to express it. So I had to pretty much just put it out there that way. And the Lone Wolf, that was just something I got from somebody that I was rocking with musically, you know what I'm saying? He had some merchandise, so I was like, yo, I bang with it. I think it'll go dope for my music video. So I just rock with his head then.
Intentionality is what makes music matter. King Pharoah, what do you get from D Stunna that's intentional that makes his songs hit that much harder to the point where they matter?
Man, Stunna, he just can put songs together with the feeling of truth in the stories. You know what I'm saying? The stories that come together with him. It's just like he could bring it together like I haven't seen a lot of other people do, to be honest. And it just be so real. Like we talk about a lot of things that we go through, and to me it really brings out another side of life and another portion of, you know, again, a perspective. And his perspective a lot of times might even be different from mine, but it's just like walking into a different world and seeing it, and you might pick up pieces that you feel that might have happened to you, and you ain't even really pay attention to it until the way he said it.
All right, so everybody out there listening, this is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop with the Stoners, gentlemen who make music that pulls from the experience of life, not just the sound of life. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask y'all some questions that really turn to not only the music side, but the personal side of who you are. What is the main characteristic of an artist that they have to create music?
They got to have a story. Every artist has to have some type of story that made them, what even got them in a position where they needed to speak out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to have a story.
I love how you said that, because unfortunately, most people don't even tell the truth, or some people say the truth, and everybody lying in hip hop or music, because everybody ain't rich, everybody ain't millionaires. A lot of people are renting cars and jewelry, and unfortunately, now we got females getting killed, just like men are getting killed in hip hop, and it's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. But the story is what exactly brings people into your world. So I want each one of you to define yourself. Are you a painter or are you a writer when you create music?
I'm definitely a painter.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. A painter, for sure.
So both of you are painters, you said?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what style is your painting? What painting style do you equate to your musical art?
Shoot, I would say, as far as my painting style, I could paint anything. You know, like, the thing about when I make my music, like we said before, some people can't tell their story. I can tell my story and the truth of my story, and I can also go ahead and turn around and tell somebody else's story. I can paint somebody else's picture, and you'll feel it just as if I went through it, but I didn't go through it.
Like versatile.
Let's do some art history on the line, if y'all don't mind. There's a paint style called surrealism. Surrealism is when you could use broad strokes of a color, and it looks like lines, but when you step back and look at it, it makes a picture. Then you have the romanticized painting, where there's like the painting's real dark and there's one tinge of light, and that light is what illuminates the entire picture. Then you have contemporary art, where people are just splashing things on the canvas, and then they create the picture out of the splashes or the impact of the color itself. Are you the broad stroke, that when you stand back, you see the bigger picture? Or are you methodical, so that when people actually get the picture, there's meaning within each stroke?
I would say ours. I'm gonna just say that ours is more like, it's more straightforward. You know, you kind of gonna instantly understand what we're saying, and be able to it's gonna be very relatable. You know, so it's not really. I'd say it's probably in the middle, because we can have times where you can stand. Some people have to stand back and look at it, but most of the time we're just straightforward, and you'll catch it instantly at the same time. So. It might be a different type of artwork. Might be a whole different type of artwork.
Okay.
The thing about it is, it's like we make it to where, like, we don't block you. You can't, like, you're gonna get the message, because, you know, like, we don't cuss in the music. We want you to hear every single word complete. You know what I'm saying? The way it's supposed to be heard. Nothing against people that, you know, cuss in the music. It's, you know, that's them. They do what they do. You know, but we want everybody to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Some of the songs a kid can listen to. You know what I'm saying? An older person, like, you know, any age. We want everybody to be able to hear the message, because eventually we all got to hear it. We all got to hear it.
I'm glad you said that. So then let's go to a higher level. What do you want people to do? Listen to your music or hear your music?
We want people to listen to it.
Okay.
You can hear something but not be listening to it.
That's facts, but that's also a trick question, because listening to something doesn't mean you understand it. Hearing something doesn't always mean you're listening to it, but you can understand what you're hearing. You see what I'm saying? See, the most important statements of a person's life is knowledge, having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, but also having insight, because insight will make you appreciate the reason why things are made, the reason why that pen hit that paper. So what is the insight within you that makes your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of music apparent when they hear your songs?
I would say it's more the wordplay for us. We relate it to a lot of different things. Sometimes we'll just use a crazy scenario and then bounce back and make it pull everything together and make it all like one line, pretty much, just to make you understand exactly what we mean by describing another situation with this situation. And that's also something that helps us reach the audience more and keep them, willed in. And that's something that, keeps stuff more real at the same time, making people interested in listening at the same time.
I like y'all, man, because y'all are very honest. You're very sincere. And sincerity is the one trait of charity that makes God's work apparent. Let me ask you this. Do you think hip-hop is a culture? Yes or no?
You said a culture?
Yeah, do you think hip-hop is a culture?
I do think it is.
I would say yeah. I don't know the exact definition of culture though, but I would say yeah because people say it every day.
Okay, so that's both of y'all. That's a yes from both of you.
Yeah, I would say yeah. It's a culture.
All right, so since you said you don't know what culture is, you put yourself in a hot seat. If hip hop is a culture, what part of the culture is it that you uphold?
I wouldn't say we're in that. What part of the culture? I wouldn't say we're in that. We're not in that actual definition of hip-hop culture, though. We're a lot different than, a lot of the other things going on, because we have a very different sound and a very different rules that apply when we go about, how we do our music and everything. So we're not following the same, patterns that, a lot of the hip-hop is.
That's from both?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. Thank you for walking into my trap. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to have some fun. So, hip-hop can be defined many different ways. How do you define hip-hop then if you feel that you're different?
Can you say that again?
I said, thank you for walking in my trap, because I really want to know, how do you define hip-hop if you believe that you're different?
Honestly, the hip hop is just, it's like hip hop is just rap to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, like, it's just rap. Like, this generation has changed that. It used to just be rap. Now it's like rap, singing. It's really different. Like, it's a twist to it now.
Okay. Pharoah, you feel the same?
I would say yeah. Like, with hip hop when it first generated, it was just rap, and that's kind of where the culture. I feel like people mostly took it for just rap, but we don't want to just rap, So that's why the generation has changed it more, because it's kind of walking away from that aspect of just being, and that was we love that because that's where it came from. That's where everything came from. But, new generation, and after years go by, things change, and people want to do different things to bring out more in them. So, yeah.
I thank you, gentlemen, for your answers, and I delightfully say you are both 100% wrong. That's why I don't think you understand how powerful what you is, or what you do is, or what it means, how meaningful what you do is to people who see it. Hip-hop is not rap. I will give you my definition of hip-hop, but I want to go into what you said because I have to relate it back into who you are, because this is your interview. Heritage Hip-Hop fans out there right now, you're listening to the Stoners, and we're going to go into what hip-hop is. I'm gonna give you my definition, then we're gonna talk about what you said. And I want feedback from y'all because I don't do interviews, I do conversations. Hip hop is God. Hip hop has nothing to do with music. And if you study hip hop, you will know that hip hop is every genre put together because hip hop is the only genre of music that actually is alive, not a sound. So gentlemen, you have been hip hop even though you may not be able to rap. You're hip hop by how you dress. You're hip hop by how you sound. You hip hop by your territory. You're hip hop by how you praise, relate, and express God through you. So, you are very hip hop whether you open your mouth or not. And one thing about your songs, like Greedy, like, give me 1 second. I just lost my notes. I'm sorry, but just like your song, Greedy is hip-hop all over it. Whether you're wearing a Sugar Hill jersey, if you know what Sugar Hill is, or you're wearing sneakers with shorts, or you got a Ghostbuster hat on, you are hip-hop. From the headbands to the style to the expression, that is hip-hop. So when you make music, not only are you giving messages to the people, you're also giving hope, and you're also giving inspiration for things to come, whether you know it or not. So hip-hop is a culture because it breathes and it's alive. And you are a vital and most living part of the culture, because without what you do, the culture will lose a bunch of light that's within it. Did you ever think about it that way?
No. Well, we have thought about it, definitely. I mean, I know I have thought about it, definitely, but, you know, there was a sound, I would say, before hip-hop, and that was more of the, you know, the R&B style and things as such. So, and there was times where it was just, you know, just the instruments at times. So sometimes, you know, we do kind of mix it up together, and that's why we see ourselves in kind of a different era, because sometimes we want to put things differently together. But that's all we meant by it. We didn't mean like we're not a part of hip hop. Hip hop culture is one thing, but we're following two different. Like we're trying to follow more of a bigger all around type of situation as well. Because sometimes it'd be a song we just want to sing on at times, you know.
That's still hip hop, bro. That's all hip hop. When you read the Bible, you read hip hop. When you read the Torah, you read hip hop. You read the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. You're still hip hop.
Okay.
And when you sing, that's another version of hip hop. Because, like I said, in my definition at least, hip hop has nothing to do with music; it's expression. It was called hip hop because young dudes wanted to go dance in the park. And older people was like, "You don't get your little hippity hoppity ass out of here." That's how it got its name. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's that thing. But you're singing. Remember, everybody couldn't sing, but everybody had rhythm. And everybody had sadness through the experience. That's called rhythm and blues. Your rhythm is your heartbeat, and the blues are your emotions. If you think about hip-hop culture, as we call it today, it started from the loss of music in the city and the emotion of pain, loss, and not being heard. And then people took that sound of the city, which is the rhythm, and their blues, and they made something brand new. You see what I mean?
Right.
So your style of music is more birthed from 90s era hip hop that merged with R&B to create the new sound that everybody's running with today. Because when I hear your music, you know what y'all remind me of? Because everybody talk about Pac and Big. Look, they've been dead for over 30 years almost. They don't count to me. When I listen to y'all, and I fuck that Lil Wayne shit, that has nothing to do with your sound. Y'all sound, to me, comes from the fusion of hip-hop and R&B, like SWV and Busta Rhymes. Or even if you want to go West Coast, Mac Ball, Players Club, Mac Dre and them. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It was more melodic with rhythm and smooth wordplay that hit the soul and the spirit. You guys need to give yourself more credit to calling yourself different, because all hip-hop is different. But by being different, you're trend-setting something that people didn't know existed. I'm gonna ask you a question. Y'all like chicken?
For sure.
Of course.
Yeah,
What's your favorite chicken to eat?
shoot, I like that lemon pepper.
Oh, you mean
Okay.
yeah, I like it. Really. I like the hot wings.
Hot wings, lemon pepper, whatever, right?
Right.
So you have that all your life, and then somebody goes, "What's up? I got barbecue teriyaki over here." You be like, "What?" You go over here, you're like, "Nah, man, we don't do barbecue. Man. We do honey barbecue. We do this, we do that." The point being is, you never know what's there until you're introduced to something new, and that new doesn't change the old; it adds flavor to what's already there. So your flavor is impacting the game by teaching truth, telling stories, and being real at the same time. Congratulations. You are the doorway to new imagination in the culture. You both matter. Thank you for being musicians.
We appreciate it.
Hey, this is Pharoah from Heritage Hip Hop talking to the Stoners. You can subscribe to their YouTube channel, Stoner Records. Right now, you can go there, hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell, and their new video, Greedy, is out right now. Tell me about Greedy and why that song came about.
We made Greedy. We were both, just did a performance out in Norfolk, Virginia. We knew that day we had to record some songs. We knew we need some new songs. Our plan was to record 3 songs. But after we did Greedy, that was it, because we knew like that was the song that we wanted to push and really put out there, because Greedy, when we speak about that, we talk about our struggle of basically just our come up, our story of how we came up, and once we got to where we were at, we started getting greedy, 'Cause once you start getting there, you don't want to lose. You don't want to go back. You want to go forward. So that's pretty much what Greedy was about.
Right.
Life lessons. That's what's up. The thing about life lessons is people have to live life to be able to experience the message. How does your song set up people to learn from you and then take those lessons into their own life to progress, not regress and fall back?
Well, the lesson we kind of wanted to reach to people is, you got to be hungry in the world that we live in. You got to really want to strive to do better. You can't really just settle for whatever, because, anything can happen in these situations. And most of the situations, we grew up in trying to, make it out of, we don't want to kind of go back to that. So we was just like, all right, we can't just stop here. Let's keep going, and let's keep trying to strive to get even greater, for definitely ourselves and, for our families and everyone else, So that was the thing. Keep being hungry and keep grinding, and don't stop, You got to get to your destination, but, there's more destinations to go to after that.
I feel that. See, one of the questions I asked at the end of the interview, I'm going to ask y'all right now, because y'all have tipped the scales that way, and I'm really interested in your answer. You said you bring something different to the game, which is a different sound. You want to be more melodic. You want to do different things, and that's cool. I love it. Let me ask you this question, though. What voice in hip-hop culture do you think is not being heard that you wish you would hear a little bit more?
If I would say a voice is not being heard, I would say ours. I mean, I can't think of nothing. That's off the top of my head. I say our voice isn't being heard, and I believe it's because, we're different. To be honest, it's not even about us wanting to be different. We can't help it. We can't help it. You can take a stoner song and, put it next to, any other song, and you'll hear the difference. It's not even us wanting. We do want to be different, but it's we're already different. We can't help it, so it's just we want to be heard, because sometimes some people aren't prepared for different. Some people just not, they don't know how to respond to different, but that's what we are. So we deserve to be heard just like everybody else.
So originality is more than answer. And your own originality is what you want the world to experience.
Right.
I feel that. Okay. I feel that. So, with that being said, I think I got about a couple more questions, and we can have some fun. I want to know this. Now that hip hop is where it is, and we see where society is going, how has today's world affected how you create music?
That's a good question. It's crazy because I wouldn't actually say that it's highly affected our music, but I would say that, you know, music does change over the course of years, obviously. And, you know, that's where, obviously, the generational sound right now is at. But we've always actually stayed pretty much the same. I wouldn't say we've changed much about our music. The only thing that actually has changed is different experiences. That's it. You know, we're 23 years old. As you grow up, you go through different things. So the different situations kind of made our maturity change as far as what we talk about.
We're living in the time of COVID. We've coming out the time of Donald Trump. We've seen the world flood. Like to say, condolences, rest in peace, and survival blessings to everybody in Mississippi and Louisiana right now.
Right.
And the world constantly goes into a shift. Nina Simone once said that an artist's responsibility is to make music that reflects the world in which they live in. Correct. Do you think the world is making music that reflects life, or do you think music being made is more fantasized and not life driven?
I think, because I hear a lot about them talking about, it's not everybody, but I definitely hear some people talking about what's going on in the world, for sure. I mean, they're not digging deep. I don't know why they're not digging deep, but as far as like the music that's just out in the generation, like when COVID came out, everybody was saying COVID this, COVID that. That's all you heard. But yeah, like you're saying, with like presidency and stuff, like you don't really hear them really getting into that stuff. Not sure why though, but you don't hear that.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
I like that. So, let me ask you a question. Let's put your hat on the future. Being that you're artist and you see where the digital market has taken hip hop to the next level, what do you think the Stoners bring to the digital market that's going to push the culture to its next level?
Can you explain that question a little more?
Well, the digital market means that you can put your music out at any time. So everybody's always putting something out. Here's a jewel for all the artists out there who's going to listen to this. On average, 700 songs come out per day. So that means, besides you, 699 people have come out with a song that's fighting for the attention that you're trying to get. And I've taken away the mainstream people who have dropped as well. So the first day is $6.99, the second day is $13.99, the third day is $20.99, etc. But when you bring something different to the digital market, you stand out and people are fed by you. What do you bring to the digital market that makes people remember and think of you instead of just searching for music?
I would say we definitely bring a different lane. But the digital market definitely makes competition. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's always going to be kind of a competition. But you know, since it, you know, of course, as the years pass by, it's made it more difficult for every artist. Obviously, if there's more songs being dropped and things as such, so it's making everybody, as far as the artists, have to definitely work harder at trying to be, you know, number one or close to it.
Well, I will tell you, gentlemen, this. I wish for people to find you and hear you and get the message from you. Instead, we have people who rather fall off some goddamn crates instead of hear some good music. So I'll pray that people find you and sit with you and evolve with you as well. Because one thing people say, I just want to be heard. I don't want people to hear you, gentlemen. I want them to evolve with you. Because when people grow with you, not only do they listen and hear your music, but they share it and experience it as well. So with that being said, why don't y'all drop y'all social media and let's have a good time.
Our social media is, you can follow us on Instagram @Stoner_Records_. That's @Stoner_Records_. You can follow us on Facebook on our fan page, The Stoners, or you can add us on. You can subscribe on YouTube, Stoner Records. We on everything, The Stoners or Stoner Records.
Yes, sir.
All right, and with that being said, we have concluded the first part of this interview. Now it's time for the second part of the interview. And the second part of the interview is called the rapid fire questions. These are not yes/no questions. These are questions designed to talk about you, your understanding of hip-hop culture, and where you want to take it. Y'all gentlemen ready to have some fun?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And because y'all not going to answer the questions the same way, I'm going to have some fun. Here's the first question. I'm always go Stunna first, Pharoah next, okay? So we can make it flow. First question. What song or album from another artist's catalog perfectly describes you?
I gotta think. You said from another artist's album.
Mm-hmm. What album or song from another artist perfectly describes you?
I can't say perfectly. That's a tough question. So many artists out there. We really came from listening to Tupac. Like, that's literally like, I used to write his lyrics and actually remember his lyrics, but I can't say that I could relate to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not too many people that's like how I am. There's nobody. I can't put a finger on nobody that's been like me. All the other, rappers and stuff like that. They really do similar things, but I don't do the same things that they do.
Okay.
Right.
Y'all both feel that way?
I definitely feel the same way. I think I like my feelings because with my music, I'm more on the of course what they like to say, the singing side or whatever. But I got a lot of inspiration from the old R&B groups, like the 90s. Like, I got a lot of my inspiration from them, like, honestly. So I really like groups like New Edition, and I really like way back the Jackson 5, them groups of people that just brung sounds together and talked about, like, you know what I'm saying, like, like, those people really spoke to me, and I feel like a part of them is always going to be in my music, and gospel music as well, too, because we grew up on a lot of gospel music. So, definitely, for sure.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Have you ever done the history of Smokey Robinson?
Well, we haven't done the history, but we know a little bit about Smokey.
Yeah, we know Smokey Robinson, yeah.
Well, what you described was more Smokey Robinson, so he would be the person that you that's the father of what you're talking about, which is dope.
Oh, yeah.
So then let me ask you this. Ask you this. Then I'll flip the question in because we're gonna have some fun. Y'all like superheroes?
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely, Marvin.
Well, check this out. Every superhero has a theme song. So what song would be your theme song?
Dang, you go first, Stunna. Who you think?
You said theme song?
Yeah. Are you a superhero? So what's your theme song? Like, what's going to play when you bust through the door?
What? I never thought about the theme song. Right now I can only think of Spider-Man theme song. That's like,
You mean like an artist or a hero song?
Artists. Every hero has a theme song. If you're busting through the door, what are people going to hear play?
Man, somebody gonna hear me play Michael. Somebody gonna hear Michael Jackson playing for sure. It's gonna be Michael. One of Michael
superhero.
Jackson. Yeah, but he's saying like, what song would you come out as?
Yeah, what song would be your theme? They're not superhero. What song would if somebody saw you? You hear Spider-Man, Spider-Man, whatever, right? But you get to pick. If you had your own theme, what song would it be?
It's gonna be one of my songs, man.
Okay, look, hey man.
Like, it's different.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong.
It's different.
Hey. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like that. But see, here's the thing. What's the perfect beat or song? Meaning, if the person never came out with that song, it would have been your first single, mainstream. How about that?
You got to break that one down because that was it was a little confusing.
Okay, let me ask it again. What is the perfect beat or song? Meaning, if the artist that came out with the song originally never came out with this track, it would have been your first single.
Got to be one of Drake's. Yeah,
Drake?
That's easy. Yeah, it'll have to be one of Drake's. Sure, that's from both of us.
Drake.
Like
Drake is the king, right?
Producers, they really take their time on the beats and they make it more like, it's like a story. Like he'll switch it up sometimes. I think he was the first one to kind of like I wouldn't say the first one, but the one to bring out like making the reverse sounds in the beats and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Beat at the end. Yeah.
Okay. I don't consider you guys a group. I consider y'all a collaboration because you're both solo artists that also can be in a group. I'm gonna ask you this: what's your favorite collaboration that's come out of music, and how did it inspire you?
My favorite collaboration is working with my brother. It inspired me because we relate so much. Like since we grew up together, like we went through the same stuff, even with females, that we've been with throughout the time, relationships. He went through something that literally, like, I went through the same thing. Like, we just relate so much. Nobody can relate better than my twin brother. That's just true. Yeah, I ain't never had so much fun. And, keeping it real, I ain't never been able to make as much good music to me, in my opinion, with anybody but, my brother. So, definitely Stunna.
Okay, that's what's up. My next question is a life question. What is the hardest lesson in life that helped you make music?
The hardest lesson in life, for me, I would say it's probably like, just because you don't always win. You're not going to always win in life. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. And just being able to get back up after losing. Sometimes you want to stay down. You fall, you want to stay down. You don't want to get back up. But the hardest lesson is like, sometimes it's going to be tough. It ain't going to be easy. It's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Once you accept that and fight through that, oh yeah, you're going to be unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Facts.
Same thing?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's been the main thing, going through struggles and trying to get out of them. Thing is, you get stronger every time, but it's always going to be something that's going to make you fall back again. But you just got to keep striving to get to the next level and keep pushing. But the hardest part is getting back up. That's the thing.
Okay, I respect that. So then let me ask you this. They asked Mike Tyson if you could talk to your younger self right now, what would you tell your younger self? And he said that there's going to be a lot of pain. And pain seems to be the main emotion that most people can identify with. I want to ask you, when you create music, where do you write from? Do you write from your joy or do you write from your pain?
Nah, I'm glad you asked that one. I definitely write from my pain, for sure. Definitely. Yeah,
okay, talk about it.
All right. So, like we were talking about, with stuff going on, like, in the world. When COVID happened, a whole lot of 2020 in general was just the worst year. And I know everybody can agree with that. Whole bunch of bad stuff happened. The worst stuff that I never went through, never knew how to even, I never knew how to even respond to it. You ever been through something that you don't even know, like, what to do? I've been through, like, that's the type of stuff that I've been through during that time. And it's crazy how every COVID, all that stuff just combined, you know what I'm saying? And I was at a point where I was gonna stop doing music. Like, that was it for me. You know, like, I'm like, look, I don't know if I can do this. But like I say, my brother telling me, bro, nah, you got it. This is time. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. Use that. And when I use that, I start making the best music that I ever made. Literally. Because I'm speaking from my pain. Literally.
That's profound. That is profound. I'm glad you said that, because pain is so universal that joy is forgotten. And we always say love is the message and love is the strongest emotion, yet pain is the most relatable emotion that everybody feels. What do you think would make music better? Would people deal with their trauma and pain, or people embrace their joy and express love?
Man, that's a hard question, because, you know, it's a perspective thing that I have to bring up in this, because most people would say that pain brings the best music, but a lot of times the person that's listening might forget that pain is real. You know what I'm saying? It's not really all the time fake. So when you're going through something, it's just like, sometimes you don't even want to say it, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going through the situation at the time. But it's like when people hear it, it's like they just love it so much. So it's like, it's crazy how pain could bring love sometimes. But that's how it eventually operates somehow.
Okay. Well, that's how you feel, Pharoah? You saying the same thing?
Yeah.
All right, so because y'all can relate to pain, and you can also relate to victory, because in making music, you conquered and won. Because you probably even beat your own self-doubt to say, I can do this, when I don't know if people going to like this, and then they end up loving it. Let me ask you this. The highest form of appreciation is a thank you. What was the highest form of appreciation you got from somebody who heard your music?
The highest form of appreciation was probably, it wasn't a thank you, but it was just people just showing, like, I got a call from a dude, like, well, I was really in a tough position, you know what I'm saying, call from a homeboy or whatnot. And this was a random call, you know, it was almost like a sign or something like that. I was in a pretty bad position. And he called me, he was like, man, I just listened to your tape, bro. Like, bro, he laughing like, yo, this is crazy. It's fire, bro. Like, I just had to call you to tell you that. And, you know, for me just getting that call, that just showed me I must be doing something right.
Okay. So for both of you, it's just somebody calling you saying that they like your music.
Sure, I would say coming from one person that's the most hardest critic, probably from both of us, is our oldest brother. My oldest brother, he's not no type that like every type of music and not like, he's just like one basic type of music. And when he told me that he liked my music, I was just surprised and I was shocked. And that's when he told me I can't stop. And he was liking my R&B and everything. He don't like that singing. He's just like, man, I'm not with it. But he was like, man, that song spoke to me, bro. Like, and I was just like, yeah, bro. I really appreciate it from coming from you, bro. Like, for sure.
That's fly. I like that. So let me ask y'all this. If you can make your dream song, who would produce it? Who would be on it with you? If there's anybody else on there with you, you can answer it as a group or you can answer it solo.
I'd say as a group, we would produce it. Definitely Drake. Got to get Drake on the song with both of us.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's nice. Okay. I got 3 last questions, and then we're going to fade to black. Everybody, once again, this is Forever Heritage Hip Hop. We thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you follow the Stoners on all social media. Check out their new song Greedy, which is out right now. But I ask you, everybody, if you like the Stoners music, please do not stream their music. Purchase their music. Heritage Hip Hop does not believe in streaming. We believe in purchasing. And if they have music that you like or you love, it's better to own your music than to rent your music. Because if you rent it, if the internet ever went down, you do not own your music. So please, whoever you do, if they have something that you really love and that's something you like listening to, please purchase it and put money in their pocket so they can give you more music, more quality, and also bring Drake on that song that they want to do. Y'all agree with me?
Oh yeah, appreciate that. We would definitely appreciate it.
All right, let's go to the last three questions. Here's one of the last three questions. If ever hip hop had a way of changing your life, what did hip hop do for you to take you to your next level individually as a man, not just a person who creates music?
When it comes to hip hop, we don't just think about like you said, it's not just music. We don't just think about the music side. We had to sit down and think like, all right, bro, we can't just sit here and just do music. That's not going, you know what I'm saying? We still got families we got to take care of and stuff, and people looking up to us. So, we took that next step of looking around just the music to learn everything else, to be like, okay, if we're going to do this, you know what I'm saying, we still got to be, like you said, men and provide. So how can we do this and provide at the same time? So that's what got us into really learning the engineer side, the production, producing side, DJing, all that. And now we know the insides of like, okay, how do we get paid from it? Those are really important things that you have to know. So, right.
Right. Second question. How did y'all like being on Heritage Hip Hop, and would you recommend other artists to come on the platform?
I would say we really like this. Like it was the realest interview so far that we would say. You kept it true, you kept it 100. Every artist, coming up, this is the place that you wanna, get some real info from, and grow with right here. Because we really like this. It was true.
Absolutely.
And, we had fun at the same time, So it was all, it wasn't all serious at the same time, but, we got a lot of knowledge from you. Sure.
Well, thank you very much. And because Heritage Hip Hop is about truth, humility, and honesty, to get the Most High the praise for this. And we give you an open door policy that whenever you have a new song or something you want to promote, you are welcome to come on Heritage Hip Hop. We are not bougie, and you don't have to have Drake on your song, obviously. All you have to do is make good music and touch the community and have a story. And we extend that invitation to you at any time. All right?
Appreciate that.
Not a problem. So let's get to the last question of the interview. And I'm sorry that you guys are leaving, but everything has a time and a place, and everything happens in divine order. So the last question is this. In 2023, they're opening up the Hip Hop Museum in the Bronx. Now, Virginia also has a hip hop culture that we'll talk about the next time. But in 500 years, when they go to the Hip Hop Museum or Music Museum in Virginia, they're going to see the Stoners in there. And somebody's going to say, who are the Stoners? And they're going to push a red button, and your hologram is going to pop out the wall, and they're going to play your music, and your music is going to be introduced to people 500 years in the future. The most important question of the first interview is this. What is the legacy that you left behind that made the world better because you made music?
I want to say the legacy that we left behind will be to lead people to the right path, to not lead them to the wrong areas, put them in the right place to where they understand the struggles and stuff like that you'll go through, understand what's around you, but understand that you do have a choice of how to go about it. You can go about things the right way. And You're going to go through some bad things, but you can get through it. That's the legacy that we want to leave behind. We want them to know that, you know, it's okay to speak on that too. You can speak on your troubles and your problems and stuff like that. But you can also speak on, okay, how do you get through it? But in a positive way.
All right. And with that being said, everybody, make sure that your legacy leaves behind a message that makes the world better. Because a tree is known by its fruit. And I would hate for you to create fruit that makes the world bitter. Because when things are bitter, not only do we throw it away, we never return to it. But if it gives life, if it gives intrigue, and if it gives good feelings, it gives good times, we will always return to it, because not only are our memories made there, we make life there as well. This is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop with the Stoners on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, episode 131. And we say peace, and we out.
See, the Stoners are taking hip hop to a whole new meaning. And as we learn in our conversation, hip hop is not only the music that you make, but how you live and how you express. And that's very important in today's society, because our expression is being preyed upon with fake images of males doing things that are unmanly, women not being feminine, people determining what your sound should be and what it should not be. And that is a no-no in heritage hip-hop. We believe that everybody has a right to express themselves, and everything happens in divine order. So salute to everybody out there making great music from the heart and from truth, and salute to the Stoners. Make sure you check them out on their YouTube page, Stoner Records, and you check out their new single Greedy, which is out right now. But before we go, we got to give proper respect to where it was due. Respect to everybody who won awards at this year's Heritage Hip Hop Awards. If you missed it, go to www.heritagehiphop.com, click on the awards tab, and you can see the winners, the nominees, the show, and for everybody nominated, you could click on the links and get links to their music, which they were nominated for. You can check out Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, LinkedIn. We are everywhere. Our podcasts come out at 2 p.m. on release days on Anchor.fm, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts. 6 p.m. on YouTube, and they're exclusives to members day before on heritagehiphop.com. If you would like to support heritagehiphop.com, our cash app is $heritagehiphop. If you would like to buy merchandise, we are at www.storefrontier.com/heritagehiphop. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, and we have new designs and new things coming very soon, so stay tuned. Also, members of our website once again get free music, and right now we are running a campaign for FMall by the No Good Bastards, the KNOW, No Good Bastards. That's free to all members of the website. If you're looking for sponsorship, because we are as well, and if you want a spot to for ads for your business on Heritage Hip Hop, just email me at karev@heritagehiphop.com. That's karev@heritagehiphop.com. If you're looking for someone to help you with your business vision, to help you promote your artists and structure a plan for your album or release, contact me at the same email, karev@heritagehiphop.com. We'd like to give a shout out to the people who help us make this thing possible. Shout out to Fatty's Place and my partner BQ. Shout out to Fire Jaws, Lex P. Shout out to Headphone Therapy. Shout out to Stress. Shout out to the Heat DJs and the Fleet DJs. The Mixtape Radio Show, MJ's Hip Hop Connects, A Squad Rebel Radio, and last but not least, the most important component that makes this team work, you. Once again, this is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop saying give glory to the Most High. Be safe out in the world because COVID is still there. I'd like to send prayers of blessings to all the people who have suffered through Hurricane Ida, and know that we're here for you and God is also here for you as well. Make sure you give your fellow man the courtesy and the help that you want as well to show God's glory, not just pray and hope for glory to come. And with that being said, we say peace and we out.